mentioned that entranceway and then the mailboxes. Is that going to be, is there going to be an access there that's comfortable? There won't be cars kind of backing up, trying to get to their mailboxes, also maybe turning around each other. It's coming right off of Route 25. Just a question. You could help us understand that at some point. And number two, with that design of all those units up there, the street and other units, I just felt that with 20 units like that, and this is for people over 55, it would be nice, maybe I missed something, but it would be nice if there were sort of a central meeting place, a gazebo, something outdoors where those folks, those older folks who seem kind of young, but might have the pleasure of gathering and maybe even having a chance to enjoy the proximity to the wetlands, which I do trust you're going to take good care of. Okay. My thought was just, it'd be nice if there was something that would help with access to meeting. And then I just want to say one last thing. I've been at public meetings here before for projects done by the applicant, and I just want to know if the if conditions are granted, are people on the board comfortable that conditions have been met and that all the prior projects have been going according to what conditions were given to the applicant?
Thank you, Bonnie.
Thank you. You can just assure me.
As far, each plan is considered individually. We do not hold up a plan necessarily. The rest of the board, you can correct me, at least since I've been on the board, hold up a plan unless there's something major going on. But each plan legally is considered separately. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, anybody. Okay? Anybody else that has any? Yes, sir. If you come to the mic and state your name and street and number, please.
Jim Terray.
Could you spell your last name, please?
Terray.
Thank you.
And that's, I'm on the butter on the other side of the creek, which would be north or east, whichever.
And what's your street address?
23 Mildred
23?
Lane. Yes.
23 Mildred?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
Thanks.
so you have two ways to get in, one from Mildred Lane and one from 25.
Correct. Yes.
Now, if the permit isn't granted for at the Route 25 access, will this be reviewed again as far as everything coming from Mildred Lane?
So we've had, to take a step back, the location of the entrance off of Route 25 is consistent with the entrance that a prior project had proposed and the DOT had issued a entrance permit for. The coordination that we've had with the DOT at this point is that they are going to issue the entrance permit. What it does, though, is has a shared entrance with the neighboring parcel just east on 25. A access easement was developed, I think, before Nick and Cody have had any interest in the parcel, and they just wanted us as the applicant and the designer to make sure we knew that that was intended to be a shared entrance. So I would be very surprised after that coordination if there's any kind of delays or hiccups with us getting that DOT permit.
Okay. So my biggest concern coming off of Bonnie's mention about the mailboxes, it seems like there should be some standards as far as where that bank of mailboxes would be, because as she had mentioned, was that you could have a bottleneck of cars that could block Mildred Lane or
no,
even,
it's not on the Mildred Lane side.
oh,
No,
which?
No, it's, if I look correctly, it's It's on the Route 25.
That's
side.
excellent. Okay, so now, when you refer to septic A, is that the leach bed?
Correct.
Okay, now, wells, does each house have a well?
There will be shared wells.
Okay, so how many units would be shared with a well?
Typically 3.
Okay, okay,
In case you didn't hear out there, he said typically 3.
right. Okay, I guess that's it.
Is there anyone else? Yes, ma'am. If you could state your name and street address, please.
Rose Teray, 23 Mildred Lane. Because we're at the backside, I was wondering about any kind of fencing or barrier being planned?
Not along the rear of the property. There's going to be a substantial area down along where we've got the stream setback, in the stream protection district, as well as a small piece of land on the other side of the stream that is currently wooded that will remain undisturbed.
Okay. I would ask that you consider it in case there are animals with these units or young children that might be visiting. We've had problems in the past. Okay? The other thing is, I was wondering about the leach beds.
What was your concern about the leach beds?
Where the flow will be.
So they'll be designed per the main plumbing code standards. The soils, passing test pits will need to be identified. We've done some preliminary work out there for test pits, so we're not anticipating any kind of issues there. But the flow, the groundwater typically, a lot of times follows the surface water, which will, gradually drain out down towards the stream area. But there's a fair amount of separation between these beds.
You said
And the stream.
You said that they're going to a main unit at some point?
They go to a septic tank
Okay.
and then a
septic
shared
field.
bed.
And
Yep,
that's it,
Right.
right?
yep. And just so that everybody is aware too, the loading to each of those septic fields, because of the size of the units that are being proposed and the way these are all designed based on number of bedrooms, is equivalent to a 4-bedroom home.
Okay.
So they're not these exorbitantly loaded beds compared to, say, a typical subdivision.
Okay, so what is the basic,
Can you turn the mic towards you, ma'am, so people can hear?
what is the basic floor size? I mean, what are we talking about as far as floor size for these units?
Floor size?
Footage.
I would have to double check. You know that off the top of your head? Yeah.
1,340 square feet.
Okay. And I'm sure that you've already figured out the zone of influence, whether our well might go dry because of this. I mean, 20 units is a lot of housing to shove into that space. So have you considered the zone of influence for the neighbors?
We have not done any kind of groundwater assessments at this point.
But you will.
If required. Typically, we're not required to do that with a residential project. And I don't think, if you were to do, and I don't foresee this with the types of the type of project that it is and the demand for water, that it's going to be an exorbitantly, a water-consuming type of development.
Okay.
Any other questions? Bonnie? No, I don't see no more first hands right now.
Thank you. Bonnie Lord Laughlin, Cape Road. Mr. Lowry, could you show me on the map, on the preliminary plan, let's see, what is this? Site, I'd like the one where, if you could help me understand, where the limit of the wetlands, it's done with a, let's see, that's the little dotted one, and then the setback legend, the setback description is the dashed one.
Yep.
So in the back of the project, yeah, I guess people can't really see this, but the part of the project toward the stream and not toward Route 25. Could, okay,
So let's start, you've got the stream that runs right through here.
yeah, can, anybody else who
People
wants
see?
to see it? That'd be great, since this is
Stream
the
runs right
public,
through
okay.
here. Off of the stream, or associated with the stream, you've got a couple of things. You've got the 100-year floodplain by FEMA, which is this heavier, darker line that cuts through there. That was just the new line based on the maps from, I think, a couple of years ago. Also, you've got a 75-foot stream protection zone that you reminded me of right through here.
Because it is in the stream protection district, right?
This portion of the site is.
And also has to do with shoreland, what you're talking about right now,
The stream protection is a subset of the shoreland zone.
which requires a 75-foot setback from a
To
stream.
the structure. The town ordinance deals with the structure. The state ordinance deals with disturbance in general. The state regulations deal with disturbance in general. So we do have a couple of areas where we encroach in that 75 feet that are with the stormwater basins. And that's what we've submitted the permit for the state. They allow that as a permit by rule process, which is their most straightforward process.
And we're waiting for that permit too. So the
Correct.
planning board's keeping track of several permits. I've heard 5, 6,
So this is the
7.
preliminary plan, so they'll be.
I'm with
back
you,
with the final
okay.
plan.
But you're saying also 75 feet, of course, is a setback from the stream.
Correct.
Okey doke. And that's with that dash line, so I didn't mean to interrupt you.
And then this dotted line here, sort of
Yep.
loosely affiliated with the stream, is the wetland line.
That's a wetland,
Yep.
edge of the wetlands, right?
Correct. Yep.
Okay, no, limit of the wetland.
With limited. Correct.
So everything's within the 75 or,
It's in the vicinity of the 75.
or what does it mean to be in the vicinity? I
Well,
mean,
in some
is it a
cases-
rule or is it
In
a
some
rule?
cases, the wetland extends out beyond the 75-foot mark, like here.
So what are the protections for the wetland when it does that?
The typical standards through the state and the federal regulations. So if you
Of which you're aware,
into that, right.
and
If you
you're,
encroach into that, you've got to permit it through the Corps, and if those impacts exceed the state's threshold, you've got to permit it through them.
so when you say you've got to,
But the applicant has to.
and that's being followed and watched and done?
Yep.
And so, that septic H there, which folks
Mm-hmm.
have on there, is that close to that septic area there?
Yep.
Is that close to the, edge of the, let's see, setback area? Is it,
It's close to the setback area, but it's
not,
probably 50 feet or so away from the wetland.
and that's within the standard? Okay. Are you giving some thought to what a few of us have said about that mailbox access coming right off of 25? Maybe,
I've heard conflicting things.
what was the positive for it?
Somebody thought it was excellent that it wasn't coming off of Mildred Lane. I do think, just so the board, for the board's take on that, I think, this area is probably at least 50 or more, 50 to 100 feet off of 25 for the number of units, the frequency of people going to their mailboxes. I don't foresee a major backup. It's far enough in. The Postal Service likes these to be somewhat close to the intersection, so they're not wandering out to the back part of a subdivision. But you've got an area where we've kept it close to 25, but not so close that if a car or two are waiting right there, that they're gonna, have a risk of backing up on 225.
Is there, you would assume that the cars would be coming, not necessarily always coming from 25 to the mailbox, but they would be coming more from inside the development down to the mailbox. So is there like I see this, it's indented, is there like I don't want to say a turnaround, I don't mean a cul-de-sac kind of thing, but if a car needs to turn around?
Right, it's a little pull-off, so
Yeah,
a car
I've
could
seen
pull
those
part the way in,
yeah.
and as well as the mail carrier truck.
Right, okay, thanks. Any more questions from the audience? Yes, sir. If you'd come to the mic and state your name again?
Paul Dyer.
Thanks.
I just have one more question. So you said the access off 25 was already approved in 2019 for something else. There was another project before this, that the entrance off of Route 25?
I think it was somewhere between 19 and now, maybe.
Oh, okay, whatever. Yeah, either way.
23.
Is the DOT going to do something about that stretch of road? Because now that I've lived there for 3 years, I can tell you right now, the 50-mile-an-hour zone is not obeyed. And every time I take a ride out of my driveway, I have to make sure I look to the right because people are doing 70 miles an hour passing on that stretch. And like, if I don't look, a couple times I could have pulled out and got smashed into, and also turning into my driveway, they come down there so fast that I actually pull into the opposite lane to pull into my driveway because I'm scared I'm gonna get rear-ended, and the motorcycles that go through there are doing easily 80 miles an hour.
That's a continuous problem in all small towns that do not have a police force of their own, which
But
we don't have.
They're not gonna lower, you know if they're gonna lower the speed limit there from 50 to
That has
45
to be-
maybe?
That has to be requested.
Okay, when's the proposed start date on this, do you?
As soon as our permits are going.
Okay.
Mike and Cody are anxious to get moving.
Mhm.
All right, thank you.
Any more questions? Yes, ma'am.
My concern is Mildred Lane. That is not a public road. It is a private road. And the town doesn't keep it up. We kind of in connection with our neighbors, work it, clear the snow and all the rest. So it becomes a problem, especially with construction, if people use that to just park whatnot. But seeing the possibility of subdivision coming through there now, should the town consider widening that road or doing more with it?
That's not a question I can answer. That would be more that you would be taking up with the select board as to what would happen to the town road.
Okay.
I have a question. The road's a private road? I thought it was a town road.
I thought it was too. 'Cause didn't the town pave a piece of it?
We don't have services from the town, no.
The town paved it though, right?
I don't think so. I think the people who had the gravel pit did all the work initially.
Well, if in fact it's not a public road, the town is not responsible for widening it or whatever, so you.
Okay, so that would
Yeah.
be selectmen, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's a private road, they couldn't dump on it anyway.
Right, if it's a private road, yes.
Thank you. Dick Chair, Tucker Road. I just had a quick question. Have you done, or are you going to do any sort of hydrogeological study to protect or to make sure you're not going to impact the high-value aquifer that lies beneath this project?
Can you repeat that, please? I didn't quite understand what you said. I didn't quite understand what you said. Are they going to do a geological study?
Are they going to do a hydrogeological study at all to see like where the plumes of pollution go from the septic tanks? I don't know, I haven't looked at the zoning ordinance lately. I think that's a prerogative of the planning board, but I'm not sure. if it's still in there. But, you know, there is a high-value wetland, or high-value aquifer that lies in that whole area. And I would be interested to see where the plumes of pollution from the leach fields go, just to make sure they're not going to be impacting people, because I know you said it meets the plumbing code, but the plumbing code is not designed to protect the aquifer. It's the first statement in the plumbing code that it's meant to be supplemented by other regulations. So that's just my question. Are you planning on that at all, or?
We have not done one yet, didn't have one in the works, but
Okay.
we can confer, you know, with the planning board if they feel that that's necessary.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Bonnie?
Could we have a moment where we all get on the same page to appreciate where the aquifer is that Dick just talked about? I'm pretty sure some people on the planning board could just use his map or your map, Mr. Lowry, or one of these maps. I want to appreciate that aquifer. It sounds like it's, you know, all water. It sounds like it's very significant, and I want to be sure I understand where it is in my town.
I personally don't know how far the aquifer zone extends out there. Does anyone else on the board?
I think, Darrell, do you know from past times? Mr. Paul, is that your name? Are you checking out our maps, our beautiful maps, which are right here available for us from the state? Thanks.
Hold on just a minute.
Do all of these show the aquifer?
I don't think they.
No, each one has a different designation, I think.
Everything, but, yeah.
Yeah, I will check the
But will you,
state's significant.
will you
standing
do that?
ground.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, there's not much but on that side. There is some further down.
Yeah, it ain't there. That just barely crosses.
Bonnie, that is something that we will definitely look into. Where'd she go?
This is that road right there. That's Mildred Lane.
Before the final decision is made.
Hey,
Oh,
Bonnie,
there she is.
I can show you right here
Oh,
if you want.
Bonnie, Craig said that, what I just said, in case you didn't hear me, was it's something we will look into.
I can show you right here.
But if you want to.
I'd
go
like
over
to see,
with-
but I guess I'd like to have the camera on it for everybody, but,
Well,
Oh,
it's
if you
kind
wanna
of-
see this.
It's
I don't
kind
think
of
they can
small
pick it
to,
up.
I don't know if they can exactly.
all right, excuse me.
This right here is Route 11. And this right here is Route 25. That light blue is the aquifer.
All that light blue there?
Just this light blue here, yeah.
All that light blue?
Yep.
They're big.
Okay?
Yeah,
Right.
but it barely crosses 11, just barely crosses with that one spot.
All right. Well, we will look into it for sure,
So I know.
in coordination with you.
Light blue aquifer. Southern-
And you can look it up in the ordinance book. Okay. Is there anyone else who has any? Yes, sir.
Jim Terray, T-E-R-R-A-Y. I do want to also add on to what other people have said about the importance of the aquifer, because it is a large aquifer that covers northern Limington significantly. We're on the edge of it, but I think, you know, the impact is something that should be looked into. And then there was something else I was going to ask about. Oh, you were starting to say something about the use of a private road, and you kind of trailed off. I missed what you might have been
Well,
saying.
if Mildred Lane is a private road, the town does not maintain it, and the town wouldn't
Right.
enlarge it like.
Yeah, got that part.
Yeah.
You were starting to say something about they're using the private road. Is there anything that,
No, I don't think no, I was just trying to say
Okay.
that, and maybe what I didn't finish saying is that if, the only way the town would take care of Mildred Road is for it to be accepted at a town meeting as
okay.
public
okay.
road.
So the problem we had when the existing house that's at the end of Mildred Lane, which is up for sale, when that was being constructed, there was some significant construction equipment that was just, inconveniencing people who were needing to get into Mildred Lane.
Were they blocking the road?
Well, at times, but, it's just that this project would be compounded, 20 times that, unless you had mentioned a parking area or some other road work that should probably go in first so that construction equipment could be staged and, built off of, someplace other than Mildred Lane would be appreciated. Thank you.
I have a question about Mildred Lane. Was there 2 houses on Mildred Lane, 2 houses?
How many houses on,
Well, the new one, the trailer, and then 2 on the other side of the creek.
so there's 3 houses and a trailer?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
And we'll just say, Nick and Cody are both in the construction business. They're gonna be actively engaged in the construction activities out here. So they've, heard the comments, and we do have quite a bit of room once the road gets built for construction vehicles to park.
Okay. Any more questions from the audience? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing and turn to the planning board. Anyone from the planning board? I know there were some concerns about,
I have a couple of questions about the water. If this was a subdivision, a regular subdivision, it would have to have 20 wells.
Correct.
So my question is, how do you know if you even have the water in these wells to handle this?
Well, we were talking about that since our last meeting, and what they will be doing is coordinating with well drillers. We can reach out to a well driller in the area to see what, typical types of yields there are. But again, each one of these, or every 2 of these homes is equivalent to a 4-bedroom unit. So it's essentially like 10 homes being constructed out here, where these are only 2 bedrooms from a usage standpoint.
How would a well feed 3 houses? How would you do that?
Do you guys want to talk about your thoughts on that? It's something we had talked about. I mean, whether it's just a simple plumbing exercise with a single well pump or multiple, part of the generator package will be to provide electricity to the well pumps in the circumstance that they have a power outage.
So who will be supplying the power before that, for the well? Who will be supplying the power? Which house?
Yeah, it would be managed by the association as a shared entity that they would pay for in sort of in common as an association or condo association cost.
So I did some research on this. I think it's a nice setup, but because they're not feeding more than 3, this doesn't come under the 5. After 5 houses, from what I could find out, it's supposed to go into a public system. In other words, you'd have like 4 or 5 wells someplace, and you would have a main that would go down through here and feed that.
Yeah, we've tried to stay under that threshold. So where these would be 3 units, equivalent of about a typical house and a half for each well.
How will one well feed 3 houses? How will that work?
well, I thought you just said
Yeah.
it would be 2 houses, each well would
One
serve.
has 3.
Septics would be 2. Most of the wells are 3. There's one that we've got, how we have it laid in
So
would be,
when I demand water, the 3 units would each could demand water, then the pump would come on? Is that how it's gonna work?
right, and just similar to, a house on a well, you'd have a tank of, a well-made tank in a utility room or basement that would kick in and keep a pressurized feed to each of the units.
The first time you were here, we asked for a better outline of how these were gonna work. So where would the control box be? to turn those pumps on?
There'd be at the well itself. I mean, at the house itself,
But you gotta get 3 lines to the well,
right?
so how would that work?
And they'd be, I guess, wired independently to the pump.
Well, I'm not against this, but I think they need to get an engineer to tell them, to say that all this will work. I'm not against it, but
You could
kinda-
set,
you'd have to have some control box when you're at the well for all 3, for it to be, you can't wire 3 units into that pump inside the well. I guess you could, it would be kind of, I don't know whether it'd be legal or not, but that's what I'm just trying to find out. They need to be, and the people that are in would be responsible for the servicing the well, if that's how it would be, the people that are connected to them.
Whether it be the if it would break down to the individual units per each well, or if it would be a shared responsibility of all 20 of the condo owners.
I don't know, I think you need an engineer's report that all this will work. I'm not against it, I just, from my experience, I don't see how all this can work, but not without,
We can, I mean, as we talked, and that's where we started the conversation with Nick and Cody a little more to put together some more detail on how those wells would function, whether they would be multiple pumps within each well that would each be fed from the individual units, similar to what you would think of in a home, or if they would be shared and go to, shared with common controls.
well, multiple pumps in a well, how would that work? Because you have a static level in a well, so I don't see how this is gonna work, but I'm open to having an engineer look at it and say it can work, and
I think that would be one of the expectations for your next final plan, is
Yeah.
to address that issue.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's where we can coordinate with a well driller.
somebody's gonna have to stand behind this. So what you're saying is they would do an association, and the people in this would stand behind the water? All the water?
Well, they'd be responsible for providing the water and making sure the equipment is serviced and functional to be able to, provide water to the units. That would be part of the condo association bylaws, so to speak.
I think one of the concerns is, this is an elderly housing complex, and who knows, I know it's over 55, but what the range of age would be, and et cetera. I think one of the concerns is that people are not going to get, I don't want to say stuck with, but that they don't fully understand what they're buying into, and the possible financial impact it could have on them if something really bad goes wrong. And that's why the need for reassurance on our part that these are workable. Because we do have a responsibility as far as that's concerned. And also, I think I mentioned before to consult with the fire chief about fire protection.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So you drew these wells on here without any information whether it was gonna work or not, you just drew them on here?
No, it's a schematic depiction of where the wells would go that would meet the setbacks that are required from the septics.
Well, I think if you just had an engineer's report along with a well driller saying this will handle everything.
Yeah, that's what we'll get you some more information on the wells.
You have any questions? Steve?
I have a question, but I think it's covered by the plumbing codes,
Okay.
because with 2 units on the same septic system, the backup, what's stop a backup from one going into the other compartment?
The septic,
Yeah.
there'd probably be a check valve in there somewhere, or the way that they're coming in. One's gonna go on one side of the tank, one's going in the other side of the tank, then it's gonna drain right to the leach bed, so I don't
Okay,
see how
if
it
the
could.
leach bed, if the leach bed is full, is that check valve gonna stop from backing up into?
Probably not, they probably won't even have a check valve. If the leach bed got filled up, that would fill that right to the tank, and the tank would fill up, then it would fill the pipe that goes into the house, and that's how you'd know that there was a problem. Other than that, you would never know there's a problem until,
But I think they ought to be answering that.
unless you guys got a better answer.
Shit backs up, yeah.
I'm trying to
If you
figure
can
out how
go
you
to the
get
mic,
2 or
please
3
go
pumps in one 8-inch well.
Yep, Darrell, would you repeat the question for Cody? Bonnie's asking, she didn't hear
I'm
you.
just trying to figure out how you'd get 2 or 3 pumps in an 8-inch well.
I spoke with a well driller about this issue. Basically, what happens, you have one pump in the well, you come out of the well, branch into 3 separate lines, and then each individual house has a pressure switch. So when that house calls for water, the pump turns on,
I
feeds that
understand
house.
that, yeah.
It's just an oversized pump.
But there has to be a control box somewhere for that all wired into, doesn't it? At the well somewhere, or?
Well, it would be the pressure switch at the house.
But
Just
the
like a-
power's gotta go back to the well.
Right, and the well will be
You
powered,
have 3 wires.
well, yeah, leading back to the well, correct.
So, I mean, I've done wells, so, I mean, what are you gonna do? All the wires gonna connect up with wire nuts?
I'm not an electrician, I don't know how they wire
Well,
them.
that's what we're looking for. I mean, that's what I'm looking for.
I would assume it would be wired the same way as any standard well.
Standard well is just wire nuts that go onto the pump,
Okay.
because there's one line, that's it.
I think that's why he's asking that we need an engineering report to answer these questions specifically.
That's all. I mean, we're not necessarily disagreeing, but
Okay.
the fact is, I mentioned this to you when we were here the first time, that they needed to do something on this.
Any more questions?
Back to Daryl, now the well's gonna feed, each well's gonna feed 3. Now, what is gonna be the standard operating pressure in each of those units?
Well, I would imagine it'd be similar to a typical house between, 40, 50, 60 PSI?
That's something
That'd be
that-
governed by the pressure tank in the house, whatever that set point would
Are you
be.
talking storage tank in the house, or are you talking just a?
No, just what I'm aware of is just what you would think of as a well-made pressure tank that would keep the system in the house pressurized.
Pressure. Now, if each unit is drawing water all at the same time, is that pump sufficient enough to supply the water needs and maintain the pressure?
It would be sized to be able to do that.
That would be what we'd expect in the engineering report to answer.
I'm just following up on Daryl's what
Yep, sure, no, I understand, Pete.
One thing, I do agree with you about the owners, when the buyers, that they need to know what the association fees are. They need to be very clear.
Yep, they
And
have,
who is responsible for what if something goes wrong. And the concern about the private road, that the current residents have to keep that up. But if they're using this road on a regular basis and that starts to deteriorate, or it's not being plowed, but how are they going to help with that process? Because that shouldn't be all on just the residents right now.
You guys are gonna do a road maintenance agreement? Yeah. There'll be I don't know if there is currently a road maintenance agreement, but I mean, they understand that. Actually, a nuance of this is that the road itself is technically runs through an easement through the project. It's not a separate right-of-way that you see with typical private ways. So it's technically on the 10 acres that the project is on.
So you're saying that the buyers for the condos would have that as part of their association fee to help with that?
Yes.
Okay.
And also, one of the things we require is a copy for, to be submitted of what that homeowners association,
Right.
Mhm.
What do you call it? The bylaws.
The bylaws and
Yeah.
the.
Yeah, so we have traditionally
Right.
requested that, yeah.
This isn't gonna be a public road, you're not gonna try to make this a public road?
Mildred Lane?
Yeah, no,
No, no,
you're
the,
in your road.
No.
You
That'll
also
all be,
need-
it'll all be a private
Yeah.
development.
but you need a name for the road as well, too.
We can come up with a name.
Sure you can. Just be careful.
Did you ever check in the other well that's there to see how much water per minute's in that well?
I know you guys looked at that, yeah.
How much?
20 gallons a
Oh,
minute.
that's pretty
It's
good,
only,
yeah.
what, 60 feet, 35
So you got plenty of
feet.
water up there.
35 feet deep. Shit, that's
Yeah.
a cheap one.
Yeah.
Fill that with $2,500.
Okay? Do you have any questions for us?
You mentioned wanting to schedule a site walk.
Yes, we do. Because of the snow, we were unable to, it didn't make any sense now. Does the board still want to do a site walk here?
They gonna stake anything out, or you just gonna see an open field?
Yeah, well, we can do the site walk prior to the final plan, for the vote on the final plan, so it doesn't have to be done this weekend. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no sense in going down and looking at a field
Right,
if you don't have some.
yeah, anything marked.
So we meet again April 6th. Would you be able to come back with a time frame for a site walk at that time? When it would be something we could all make sense of?
Yeah, I mean,
It
we
doesn't
can,
have to be April 6th, I'm just saying.
Right.
That's our next meeting, and we could set up the site walk at that time. That's convenient for everyone.
I mean, would the board be agreeable to me coordinating through with Craig on
On the
how
site walk.
how that goes and how, you know,
The
the,
sidewalk is?
Yeah.
Well, it's
Yeah, well, you could.
basically easier with everybody here, so that
Okay.
we can,
Yeah.
you know, if he's got something to do, she's got something to do, and that time, maybe we could switch it to a different time, same day, or I'd be just going back and forth with these guys, I wouldn't.
do you guys typically do it during
Well, now that it's daylight
weekdays, or?
savings time, we have light that expands into the evening, and we, let's see, does anybody work here?
Nobody works.
Yeah,
except
so we
for-
usually
I like to
do it-
Like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the
Yeah.
afternoon, so that I can be done with my day.
Yeah.
Yep, yep.
So,
And-
and typically a weekday, because I don't want to come over here on a weekend. either.
Yeah, we try to cater to our soft-hearted.
Well, we all live
in.
in, you all live in
Yeah.
town, I live in Wyndham, so.
Yeah, no, but we usually do it on a weekday in the afternoon.
Yeah, and where it's a open field,
Yeah.
it would be
Well,
pretty
my point
straightforward
being
for our survey crew to,
Yeah,
mark
Mark
a
out
center
something,
line of
so
the
we just-
road, mark where some of the units will be, that kind of thing, so
Yeah.
we can,
yeah, okay. Yes, Bonnie?
Do you mind if I ask a question?
No, go ahead.
I would just ask, please, have your site walk available for the
advertise it.
public.
We will advertise it
Okay, and will it be advertised?
when we get
If
it.
there's time to
Yeah.
advertise in the Shoppers Guide.
Thank you, that's,
But we have to cater to their deadline.
I hear you, I was just making a request, I heard everybody else a
Well,
part
we
of it.
also will announce it, obviously, here, and we'll ask the select board to, when they talk about, when boards meet, to announce the site plan as well, sidewalk as well. Okay.
And just like the public hearing was advertised in the paper tonight, will it be advertised in the
We-
shopping guide also?
If, like Donna said, if we can get it in time, yes. If not,
For the public?
it will be on the website. Do we have a new website? So, yeah. Okay, all done? Do you have a pretty good understanding of what we're looking for
I think so.
for the final plan?
Do you guys have any idea when your permits you're waiting for are gonna come in at all? Do you have any dates or anything like that? In that DOT?
No, I mean, the DOT entrance permit should be coming on. The one that will be the longest lead time will be our DEP stormwater permit. So I think the PBR, the core permit, and the entrance permit will all be pretty straightforward.
You can coordinate through Craig on when you want to come back with the final plan,
Okay.
okay?
Do you guys do a preliminary approval?
Well, that's,
Or,
yeah, we're leading up to that.
okay.
Okay. So, any other questions you have, Paul?
I'm just curious, why wouldn't you make that a town road that the town would plow it? That's kind of curious as well.
Because, I mean, technically, as we've drawn it in, most condominiums stay private, and the association takes care of it, because they're also taking care of other amenities, things on site. So that's pretty common, and, you know, as we've laid it in right now, we don't have a dedicated right-of-way that would be deeded to the town, and then thereby have to, you know, meet other town
It's not
requirements.
deeded to the town just votes to plow it.
Well, yeah, typically if you were to do a subdivision, then then the road, and you were to deed to convey the road to the town for maintenance and ownership, then it would be within a dedicated right-of-way that would be granted to a town.
So this isn't dedicated?
No, this will remain in fee ownership of the condo association.
But it's not gonna move around, right? It's always gonna be there. I don't really care, I just find it, you're gonna spend that kind of money on a road, I think I'd want the town to accept it, and they would plow it, that would save the people in there.
We
And
can,
I don't look at this as a condominium project, I look at it as a subdivision.
we can talk about it
Yeah.
and see what we can,
Well,
how we can
yeah.
work that into the final plan.
Yeah, every subdivision,
Yeah.
you know, that's part of the process they go through, you know? Yeah, okay.
Do you have an engineered plan on how that road's gonna be built?
Yeah, it was part of, in the plan set.
Okay.
Okay, is there a motion to accept the preliminary plan with the requirements that we have addressed as far as the water situation with the wells, as far as the engineering plan that we requested, that the Army Corps of Engineer and the DEP plans, and that the water issue of drainage from both sides of the road, I guess, onto Ossipee will be, well, okay, and then the confluence as it goes back into the aquifer wetlands area. We could possibly, in our notice of decision, also that you check with the fire chief.
Yep.
And we also could, it's something for the board to consider, having, well, I don't know, I was gonna say having the main access just come in off 25, but we'd have to talk about that. And also the homeowners association bylaws. Am I forgetting anything? I think you pretty much wrote down everything we were talking about. So is there a motion to that effect?
Make a motion.
Is there a second?
Second?
Victoria seconded. All in favor? So we will look forward to when you can submit your final plan that will include the issues that we have addressed here. And then we'll, as you well know, we have to do another public hearing when the final plan is submitted.
Okay, thank you all.
Thank you very much for coming in.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody, for attending. It's always appreciated. Our next agenda item, oh my gosh, we're way beyond 7:30, is for Ms. Seymour, Anne Marie Seymour, on 6 Moody Road. And, hi, Anne Marie.
Hello.
So long here. Just, so I'll bring everybody up to date if I could on this.
Did you find the allocation on that?
Yes, they, well, it should have been given to you.
All I had in the package was the
Okay, if you're going to have individual discussions, gentlemen, Excuse me, over there in the corner, if you're going to have individual discussions, please go out in the hallway, because we have to move on to our next public hearing. Okay? So Anne Marie, let me just bring everybody up to date. You did file
Yes,
the
ma'am.
application, right?
Yes, ma'am, the application and the appropriate fee with help from Craig.
Right. So you have that, right?
Yep.
The application, I don't know that Donna got it. Well, she must have got it.
The application, I give a bunch of them.
Yeah.
No, I give you Mark Flores today. I did hand them to you last week there, because I only got my copy and everybody else.
Well,
No, they ain't got one either. Well,
All right,
other
so-
than, did you? Joe, you get that right there?
that's okay, let everybody just find out. Anne Marie, has asked for an extension.
Yes.
So the reason, we're going to still hold the public hearing, but there were 5 abutters that did not get notified of this public hearing tonight. So by rule, we have all of the abutters here that want to express an opinion are more than welcome to do that. We will not be voting on the application tonight because the other abutters will be receiving a letter, and they will have the opportunity on April 6th, which is our next meeting, to come in and express any concerns or ask any questions they may have. And Anne Marie requested an extension. Anyway, there was a letter that, an email that she sent to me, which I thought I had, Anne Marie. Take a look. Well,
For context, I spoke to Joyce earlier today. The church that is working to sell us the property, as you guys know, we're under contract, has offered to survey the property to ensure that we have accurate property lines, accurate ideas of where the different posts are for the property lines. That way we are entirely sure we are within boundaries when it comes to fencing and purchasing the property. We'd like to know what property we're purchasing, obviously. So the church has offered to pay for the survey. I'm waiting to hear back from the church, the seller's agent, as far as scheduling that survey, which is why I asked Joyce for the extension on the application, in hopes that I would have an answer by hopefully before the next meeting. And if not, then I believe the 20th would be the following one.
right, the third Monday.
Yes, ma'am.
Yep.
Fingers crossed for sure.
So did the church own that whole field at one time?
To my
It
knowledge,
was all part
sir,
of one property at one
it
time.
was all one property. So there was, I believe, 4 acres, or a little bit over 4 acres total. When we started pursuing the property, we were told that there were 2.5 acres attached to the house that we would be purchasing. Again, getting it surveyed will kind of help hopefully clarify everything and make sure that we're within our boundaries. We certainly don't want to encroach on any of our neighbors or...
But does the church still own that piece that they cut off?
Yes, they're selling it to us. They're splitting the deed.
So they could give you more land, they could give you whatever you need then?
No, they don't own that other piece.
Oh, they don't own the other piece?
Yeah, sorry, I'm not sure. Again, this is very new for me, and I'm trying to work with my agent and figure out what's going on.
Who owns the other piece, the other farm?
Just Sue and Peter Lord.
Lord.
Okay.
Okay, so since this is a public hearing and abutters have been notified, are there any abutters here that wish to speak tonight about 6 Moody Lane in the, yes, sir, if you'd come to the mic and state your name and street address, please.
Buster Gammon, I am an abutter. I do know where the lines are, but I don't wish to go any further than that tonight.
Well, we do have you down here as someone who did not get a notice, but you will, even though you're here tonight, you'll get a notice about the 6th, and you can come back
Thank
at
you.
that time if you want.
Thank you.
Okay?
I would like to speak.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak to this? If not, I'll close the public hearing, and I will ask the board to vote on a motion to grant an extension to Anne Marie Seymour for her property, proposed acquisition of her property at 6 Moody Lane. I don't know if you want to set a deadline. Do you want to say it for a month?
I'm hoping to hear, like I said, before the next meeting, Joyce, by the 6th. And if I have not heard back from the engineering company, then I'm hoping by the 20th. I'm
So what
really
I'm
hoping we'll be
going to do is
moving
that we
along.
grant you, the motion will say we grant you an extension until the 20th.
Thank you. That would be wonderful. I
April
really appreciate
20th.
it.
April 20th. And then if things haven't worked out, we can always. schedule another
Reevaluate. Absolutely. Nope, that totally makes sense. Thank you so much, and I do appreciate it. I know
Is
it's a
there-
unique situation.
Is someone moving that motion?
I'll make a motion.
Victoria moved. Is someone second?
Yes, to extend it to the 20th.
Second,
Darrell seconded it. All in favor? Okay. So you can call me or ship an email or call Craig or
Perfect.
whatever you want to do.
Thank you so very much. I
Good
really
luck.
appreciate your time.
No problem. Good luck.
Thank you.
And would you give this to Donna, please? Those are they should go out this week.
So the next 5 people,
Yeah.
I don't know how that happened.
Well, the Realtor did those.
I think he owns
Um,
this back piece.
So
What's on this?
in order to send out the abutters letters, we have to know when,
We don't know when the public hearing.
when the public hearing would be. So I think what I'm going to do is say that we'll do the public hearing on the 20th of April.
That sounds good.
And then we can do the same thing tonight if we need another extension. Okay, so you put the 20th on in that, Donna, thank you. All right, so moving on, is Mark Flores here for an application for a storage facility. And
I am Mark Flora, property owner. This proposed plan, have you all had an opportunity to take a look at the
you need
plan?
to, if you could just tell people where your property is. It's actually next to the property we just talked about.
Yes, it's the other lot.
It's the other lot on Route
adjacent
25.
to the 20 house lot
Right.
project that Nick Thorne's doing. I'll be using that same shared access.
Right.
And the access, the permit was issued in 2019, and the driveway hadn't been built,
Right.
and so it expired.
Yeah.
And
And they're going to get a,
the DOT just said that all somebody had to do was
Yeah.
reapply to get that same permit reissued.
right.
So that will be coming right along.
Could you describe your storage unit to us, please?
Yeah, it's a rectangular development that runs along the east and west of Ospey Trail. There's only a small portion of that lot that's buildable. And if you look at the plan, you'll see that this development contains about 3/4 of that parcel. There is about another 250 feet at the eastern end of the parcel that's not developed. Again,
So your lot is Lot 2.
lot 2.
And Lot 3 is the chicken coop, is it?
Well, it would be Dunbar Antiques
Dunbar Antiques, yes, yes.
with the house and
Sorry, I
the barn.
used the native term.
So again, this project would require a stormwater permit, and I have an engineer working on that. And as soon as we get some progress on that, I'll, come forth and ask to be on the agenda again to,
Well, normally, what happens, Mark, is that if we accept your application tonight, we would hold a public hearing for you on April 6th, which is
Okay.
our next meeting. Is that going to conflict with what
no,
timeframe you need?
no, I like public hearings.
Okay. Sure we all do. Okay. Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Floor about his proposed storage unit? Tonight, we're just here to accept the application.
Sure.
Mark, you had mentioned that they might be shorter buildings, just to equal 50 by 600 feet. Are they gonna be a 50 by 600 foot building?
Well, they don't have to be built all at once, they're modular, but I want to get approval for the entire space So if, say, 50 by 150 is built and it meets the needs and we need more, we can continue with modules to
So
fill that
it'll
out.
be, won't be two 50 by 600 foot buildings, it'll be a 50 by 600 foot area that buildings will be built.
Correct. Even though I had to pay the $10,000 fee for the entire thing at once, so we might not do it all at once.
We like money.
You're
Yeah, I
proposing,
know.
you're proposing to do it.
We're proposing, yes, proposing.
Any other questions, Mark?
Well, if you didn't, you can't get pre-approval for something you're not gonna do, are you?
Well, he's proposing to do the two 50 by 600s.
Correct.
And if it's granted, he will have the authority to do that, but he might do it in units as opposed to doing the whole thing at once, is my understanding of what you want to do. Do you
Correct.
know what your first module will be? Or do you plan on-
Probably 200 feet,
Okay,
1/3.
So you're only going to put in a,
Pad.
a,
2 units, 2 buildings, 50 feet wide by 200 feet long.
Okay, so 2 storage units, 50 by 200 feet.
1/3 of the proposed building area.
Is there a problem with that? Is that a problem?
I guess, I mean, I don't know, I just, I think we talked once before about if you're not, you can't do it in the future. I don't care, I mean, if it's all approved, I think you would have to take the permit out for all of it. It was-
Right, well, I paid for the entire
Come back to
area.
or come back to it's not a big deal to come back to the planning board if you're going to add on to it.
He's paid for the.
I paid for the entire
Oh, you
area.
paid for the entire
Yes.
thing, okay.
Mhm.
You paid for the entire thing. Okay.
Fine with me.
Is there a motion to accept, do you have any questions, Mark? I mean, Craig, do you have any questions? No. Is there a motion to, yes, Pete, I'm sorry,
Hey, you're saying that you might do it in two phases,
2 or 3 phases.
or 3? When you
But-
do
but
it,
he- But he's paid the fees. for
Right.
everything.
right, but when you do start, are you gonna start where the entrance is, or you gonna start building from the far side?
It would be from where the entrance is.
So, once you start from the entrance, looking at this, how are you gonna get around to the back side of it?
Well, it has a 20-foot road all the way around the buildings. Do you
And
see-
one down the center, right?
With one down the center as well.
I don't know, Darrell, is that big enough for these big trucks?
20 feet?
Well, it'll only take whatever can get in there.
It's a common design. I mean, they build these everywhere.
20-foot road.
Yeah.
Dump trucks are only 100,
How many units will be there when it's all done? Individual units?
240.
240? They're all metal?
All metal.
All right, I asked if there was a motion to accept the application.
I make a motion to accept.
Is there a second? Pete seconded it. Any questions? Yes, Pete did. All in favor? Okay, so what will happen is that, do you want to do a site walk on this? Do you feel that there's a need for a site walk?
well, he's gonna be a little while anyway, we can do them the same day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
be nice to see exactly where it's going.
Yeah.
And then you'll see what
Do it the
that
same day as we do the
is.
units.
Yeah.
Nick and
And then we'll,
Cody's
that,
units, okay.
that entrance off on 25 will
Yeah.
be marked out, we'll know where that is, and then he's just coming off on that, he's got a right of way off on that entrance off on
Right,
25.
Right,
so.
right. Okay, so we'll let
April
you know.
6th.
Because we don't have a date for the site walk at this point. We're waiting for, is that okay with you?
That's great.
Okay, but in.
Await notification.
Okay, in 2 weeks,
Mhm.
we'll hold your public hearing.
Okay.
And you'll have your final plan. Okay?
Final?
Well, I mean, if, we usually, on the night of the public hearing, if you're prepared and want to, we hold a vote
Okay.
on that, but we need to have
I'll
everything.
try to get a letter from the DEP saying that the permit has been filed as well to present then.
Okay,
Okay? Sounds good.
okay,
Thank you very much.
all right.
Did you have a picture of the units, just to, or you-
I didn't bring a picture. I can bring one
Yeah.
next time.
Yeah, that would be a good idea.
just something to see.
Yep.
Okay, thank you very much.
That's for you. I think you guys ought to do them all at the same time.
Okay, okay, let's get down to the nitty-gritty stuff here. All right. The discussion for the Southern Maine Regional Planning Development Commission, we need to get, I guess there's no panic on getting this done, but I think if we want to use the services of Jamel, we need to give him some timeframes. And I don't think we need all $6,552 worth of proposed tasks. So can we go through it and talk about what we feel we'd like to avail ourselves of, so we can move on this? The first task was project research and ordinance audit. He conducts research on the state statutes, but it seems to me that I don't want to question their methodology, but I would think they would already know about these statutes. So I don't, I guess I would need explanation from him as to why they would need to research the state statutes. Am I making sense here? I do think it's reasonable to think that they would, and I think the word audit might throw us off, but they certainly would need to review our land use ordinance to tell us where we need to make changes to comply with the state laws. Anybody else have any concerns about the first task there? And the thing is, I don't know what, I am assuming what will happen is that after we determine what we want to avail ourselves of, I will get back to Jamel, and then he can give us the price for what it is we want. Right now, he's given us a price to do everything on the page. So the deliverables on that are an ordinance outline which would include applicable state laws and statutes relating to modifying land use and subdivision. Now, I question whether our subdivision ordinance is going to be involved here. I think it's more our land use ordinance. Am I wrong? I can certainly ask him.
It would be a little bit of the subdivision, because they're saying now that the subdivisions are four
That's
dwellings
right.
instead of three.
That's correct, too. That's correct, yeah, okay. All right. Another deliverable summary of required ordinance modifications, and then additional recommended ordinance modification as discussed with town staff. Well, that would be the planning board, not town staff. And obviously you, I mean, you're part of us, so. It makes sense that that we would want the deliverables if they're going to make the recommendation. Under ordinance modifications, I don't know personally, I guess I'm looking to save the town money here. I don't know why that couldn't be part of the first task. Ordinance modification says, based on applicable state statutes and laws and ordinance audit, Southern Maine suggests modifications to the existing land use and subdivision ordinance in a Microsoft document utilizing red lines and strike-throughs. Well, why isn't that supposedly is going to take 30 hours? Proposed amendments to the land use ordinance, proposed amendments to subdivision ordinance, memorandum highlighting the proposed ordinance modifications for the select board, for the planning board and the select board. I think somewhere in here we have to cut. I'm just trying to think of the price tag on this, and it's pretty heavy, I think.
Can I say something?
Sure. Oh, absolutely.
So they're saying 55 hours. If it doesn't take them 30 hours to do that, they're not gonna charge you for that. Would be my guess. They're saying 55 hours, but if it's not gonna take that,
Could ask them if it doesn't take this long, would it be less money?
Okay.
That would be a good thing to ask.
But in that case, if it goes over 30 hours, they're gonna want to pay.
well, wouldn't everybody?
Right.
But if it's less, then they shouldn't expect to get paid. If they're basing it on 30 hours and it's
Yeah.
only 20 hours.
Well, I
then
think
they
they're basing it on 105 an hour, so it makes sense that they're going to do it on an hourly basis, and if we only used 30 hours, we would only
That's
charge
what I
for
would,
30 hours. Yeah.
that's what I would
Yeah.
assume.
Well, I suppose the two of them would total 40 hours. That's like maybe 2 days' work. That makes sense. So
40
that's
hours, 2 days' work.
Well, what is that, 48 hours in a day, but it's 12 and 12 is 24 daytime working hours. No, 8 hours?
Yeah. be
Oh,
8
that's
hours.
right, I'm thinking of.
40 hours be a week.
Yeah, 40 hours would be a week, okay. I don't know.
And this is up
You know
to,
what I think maybe, here's a thought. If we do the first one, the 10 hours for the research and ordinance audit, why couldn't, and why shouldn't, we do task 2? I mean, we propose amendments to the land use ordinance all the time for referendum questions. So if we get the information from them on the applicable laws and a summary of the required ordinance modifications and whatever they want to recommend, I think we can do task 2. Would you agree?
potentially.
Yeah, because we have until 2027 to do this. We don't have to have it done for June of '26. So I mean, that's my suggestion. Any thoughts?
Yes, my thought would be that with the makeup of the board today, yes, probably doable. But the board tomorrow, will it
Well, we're all on here for another year, anyway. All of us collectively.
Just till next March though, right?
Not
June, but
For
March.
one more year. So if we get to them to get this information to us, and they give us recommended modifications, there's no reason we can't do task 2, in my opinion. I mean, we've done the mass gathering, we've done automobile graveyards, we've done any number of, we took on the whole zoning ordinance a few years back and made adjustments to it, so there's no reason, in my mind, that we couldn't save the town some money by doing task 2 ourselves.
We'd be the only one in town interested in saving the money, though.
Well, maybe they'll like us better. Well, that's my thought.
I'll go along with whatever you want to do.
Does the money come, where's the money come from?
Well, the selectmen have said that there is a fund, and now I can't remember what it is that this money has come out of.
Well,
do this.
if it comes out of like the general fund, I mean, all the money that the planning board takes in goes into the general fund, correct? Or, right?
They have money they can take out of now and then try to get reimbursed again.
And there are grants, but we've missed the deadline for the first grant.
If
I'm
we-
not a grant writer, so I'm not going to undertake that task at all.
They have travel time down here, including travel time, and then when they get over here to total it out, they add more travel time. It's like a mechanic,
If we do this ourselves, task two will save
that
$3,150.
just pay the travel
Oh, see it
reimbursement
there, but where's it?
down here.
Would you run
including
it by the
travel.
town attorney after it was written?
So that's the general methodology, yeah. All right, so let's say that we're going to take on task two ourselves, since I don't hear anybody objecting strongly. And you know what that means.
What? You what?
I'll
She's
be the
gonna
one
do
doing it.
Well, that's what keeps your mind sharp.
All right, task three, planning board meetings. 3 planning board meetings. I agree with that. I have a question down here, on meeting number 3. It says, attend the planning board's public hearing to answer questions and provide guidance as necessary. And my question was, do we need that third meeting?
I don't think so.
I don't think we do myself, because we've always been able to, if we're gonna write the ordinances, we better be able to explain them to the public. That's the way I look at it. All right, so I'm gonna get back to Jamal, stating that we'd like to do, I'll ask the question about reviewing the state statutes. It seems to me they should already know that. But we'll do task 1 and task 3 without meeting number 3.
I'm gonna write this down. What did you just say you're gonna do?
We-
Task one.
Task 1, which is the total of 10 hours. But I will ask about the state statutes, whether they have to research this or don't they already know what these are. I'll ask about that. And then task 3, which is planning board meetings, we will not do number 3. Okay? Any questions?
The only question I have is that
This
you
is
get
general
2
admission,
tasks that you're dealing out,
10% general
Yeah,
admission.
task 1 and task 2.
and you eliminate those, how much are we saving on this
10% of that.
total figure?
If we do task 3, if we do task 2, we save 30 hours. At $100 an hour, that's $3,000.
Of course,
3,150, yeah.
I don't even, I've never heard of that.
That is-
Joyce, do you know what the 10% general admission is?
Where do you see
Administration.
that? Administration?
Yeah.
10% general admission.
I'm assuming that that is what they, their standard fee is.
General administration.
Why don't they just put?
Yeah. It might just be, they charge 10% of what the base price is,
That's what it looks like.
and they probably charge that to everybody that, any project, is my assumption.
That's like, is that like rags and wipes when you go to the garage? Huh?
Could be.
And you know, they already have travel time in here on 15 hours down here for the staff, and then they add another 200 up here.
Well, I'm assuming that what they have up there is part of this parentheses at the bottom of the page. The parentheses says 15 hours meeting with.
Oh, that's how they broke it down.
Yeah,
to
yeah.
Joyce, if we do
55
task
hours,
2
let's see.
ourselves, which is 3,150 in
30.
savings,
45.
and then we eliminate that third thing, we'll save
35. No, that's
525.
not, that's not what they did.
So our total is gonna be 2,877 instead of
Give me that again,
6,552.
2,870.
2,877 will be what we pay instead of the 6,552.
So that's considerable savings.
Yeah, yeah.
And, you know, one of these, the LDs, I think it's the 427, I think, is the one about chickens in the dooryards. I mean, that's gotta be something simple that we
Yeah.
could do.
Well, that's
you could
why I'm
do,
gonna
or-
ask him why they have that in there. To me, they should pretty much know that, they shouldn't have to research it.
That shouldn't be a big deal, that's
Yeah.
just a couple words in the ordinance.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
right now, it's no chickens unless you go through planning board, and now
Right.
it's gonna be chickens.
Chickens. Okay, so basically, if we take out task 2 and number 3 meeting, we'll be saving $3,675.
$3,075.
$3,675.
Save that.
And that's taking out task 2.
And number 3 under task 3.
Yeah.
Okay, we've done that.
Meeting number 3.
Yeah, removing meeting number 3, yeah.
Task 3.
Okay, I want to wait till Darrell gets back for, need to talk about, I think the easiest one, let's do mass gathering first, because that's the simplest one. I believe have we already voted to accept this? I mean, it's been going on so long, I don't honestly remember.
I don't know.
You know, it seems like I've been typing that forever.
Yeah,
The minutes, I mean.
minutes on it.
Did we,
I don't
No, I
know
don't
where-
think, I don't know that we did, because I had to type my,
You were going to type up what the changes were after our board meeting.
well, that's what this is. I've already done that.
Okay, so
So we haven't voted on the final thing yet. The thing that I was supposed to get was, oh, don't tell me I didn't bring it.
did the town vote to,
Yeah,
is the attorney?
oh no, that was the other one. Yeah,
Oh, I'm looking at junkyards.
no, we're
Wrong
on
one.
that, yeah. The only thing that we need to talk about as far as the mass gathering article is that the town meeting, I had agreed with the select board that we put forth a non-binding question at town meeting concerning whether town boards and SAD 6 would have to come before the planning board for a conditional use permit for any gathering 300 or over. They would have the fees waived. Grace spoke very eloquently to it. I added a couple of things. David on the select board spoke to it. And I believe there was something like maybe 12 people left by that time at the end of the town meeting. Maybe, it wasn't much more than 12. And they voted yes. That they wanted the town boards and the school board to come
to go through
before
the process?
to do the process for any gathering 300 or over.
And that's what you already have in here anyway.
No,
correct?
we don't, we have to, that's what, we did not agree with that. That's why it went to a non-binding question. Some members of the select board felt that they should come before us. We, as a board, had voted that we thought it was unnecessary and an imposition. And quite frankly, the only, that I can think of off the top of my head, the only town committee that's going to be really affected is the recreation department, because they're basically the ones that
And
hold.
that would just be the 4th of July, the parade and the fireworks,
Well,
correct?
can
I mean,
you
that's-
see us, I think there might have been a lack of understanding of one of the prerequisites that the planning board is charged with when they do a conditional use permit is the parking. Now, are we going to go down to a private property that the town is allowed to use for the 4th of July and mark off parking spaces? I mean, if you really want to get down to the technical nitty-gritty of it,
Do they have a parking attendant there during that
I
time?
have no clue.
I don't either.
I don't know.
I have seen people
I know they have,
guiding you in
people-
Good Park, yeah.
yeah?
What parking lot are you?
I know they do when you
Down
leave.
by the
they-
historical
Yeah.
building, Historical Society, where they do the 4th of July
I don't blame them,
fireworks.
when they're doing it, because people sort of trickle in, they
They
don't
park
need
wherever
it.
they can.
And they shut the road off anyway, both
Yeah.
ways, so.
Well, anyway, in order, we need to vote now on this as to whether we, and I personally committed myself, I don't speak for the rest of you, but I did speak for the board saying that we would go forth with the non-binding vote. So I'm going to propose a motion that the, let's see, just a minute.
Yeah, so under D, you're changing that one.
Yeah, hold on.
And you probably ought to put page numbers on these too.
Yeah, I know, I'm
Yeah,
not good at,
it gets me all confused.
I don't
So
do that
page two
well.
under D, the very first
Yeah,
sentence has to do with
Yeah, right, we have to change that completely.
to
To-
does apply.
Yeah, right. It reads, "The requirements of this mass gatherings ordinance do not apply to events sponsored by SAD 6, school department, or any other agency of the town of Limington." We have to change that to say, "The requirements of this mass gathering do apply."
So we are gonna change that?
Well, I'm proposing a
12 people voted yes.
motion to change it,
Okay,
and I need a second. If there's no second, then that says to me that the planning board still wants the language to read "does not apply."
I'm not gonna second it.
Are you talking about, we're talking about 300 people now?
We're talking about the second page of this
Oh,
ordinance,
I'm on the first page.
on D.
The very first.
Go to the second page, please. D.
Oh, requirements for conditional use permit?
And you see the first sentence there.
Requirements do not apply to events sponsored by six.
The town meeting voted.
That's what you want.
No, that is what the planning board voted.
No
The
payments.
town voted otherwise. Excuse me. So I think what probably is going to have to happen, if you guys didn't second the motion, that it is the majority of the planning board who believes that they should not have to come before the board for this. But the selectmen have the final say over how referendum questions are written, and my guess is that will go in, and the townspeople will vote on it. I mean,
Well, they don't have the right to change it, they have the right not to put it out.
they have the authority to not put it forth.
Put it forward, but they can't change it. If they can, why are they going to, why do they even do this?
Well,
I don't believe they can change it. They can stop it from going in the way we're doing it, but if it was done under a different
so
way, they-
basically what the majority of the board is saying, that we don't agree with what the town voted, and we don't care what you said, we're gonna stick to our guns? I mean,
it's a non-binding vote.
yeah, it was non-binding, and there were only 12 people there.
Yeah, I mean-
13 people.
What does
All right, I will-
non-binding mean?
Non-binding means that it was just getting a feeling of the
I
town.
see.
So
Okay.
12 people
Yeah, that's not,
gave the feeling of the town. But hey, you don't show up at town meeting,
exactly.
don't complain, it's not my fault. If you can't take a few hours on a Saturday morning once a year to do
They
something.
could have put that in a referendum too, instead of doing it that way.
So we're gonna hold with do not.
We're sticking with do not, and I will go to their this coming Thursday's open session thing before and tell them what happened here tonight concerning this, and then we can see what they want to do.
That was the only thing that needed to be addressed in this.
On that, in that mass gathering. Okay, quickly, we can go to the automobile graveyard, and the thing that, that I had to bring forth to you was, an automobile hobbyist definition. And you'll see on the last page, automobile hobbyist is a person who acquires, repairs / restores to original or modified original condition a drivable / fully operational vehicle for the purpose of personal enjoyment and/or public display and not to be sold. And that really covers, that would have, if we'd had that in there, we would have had a lot of different outcomes. So we had voted on, I believe, everything but that automobile hobbyist definition.
Well, one thing in here, I don't know if you noticed that up above there, it says, Ben, I'm not sure about the display part as a hobbyist.
Say, what's that?
Underneath the automobile hobbyist,
Yeah,
at the very end, it's highlighted. I think that was a question you asked Ben. It says, Ben, I'm not sure about the public display part of hobbyist. I think when we was going over this or something a long time ago.
yeah, but
that was
that's what it is. What it states there is what it is, what an automobile hobbyist is.
Correct.
Yeah,
But at the end, that's highlighted,
I don't have anything
or
highlighted.
not
on it.
highlighted, but
It's right here.
bold, under bold.
Bold.
It's right here in bold.
It
Oh,
says,
well, I unbolded, let me see. Okay.
that looks like a question you had for
Oh,
Ben.
yeah, that was just supposed to be taken out. Yeah.
Okay, well, it's not on my piece. I just want to make sure
Yeah,
when you
yeah, it's not
finalize
on
it, that
mine,
it's not in
yeah,
there.
Yeah, yeah, no, that will, parentheses will not be in there.
Okay.
So, and at the bottom where it says land use table, that's just a reminder that, you know, so if this passes as a referendum question, that we have to make those changes in the land use table. Okay?
For junkyards and hobbyists, correct? That for junkyard and hobbyists only in the commercial zone?
That's what, yeah, what we,
I don't think we're gonna be able to do that, because
There's hardly no commercial.
hobbyists can be in a rural zone.
well, that's true, that's the point that you brought up, yeah, exactly. Well,
I don't think it would, I think it would,
we should exclude automobile hobbyists from that.
And we have 2 junkyards that are in the residential zone right now.
I know, it doesn't make any difference, that's
Yeah,
history.
Just state.
Yeah, I know, yeah. Okay, so that isn't part of the referendum question anyway, but shall we say that automobile hobbyists are allowed in residential zone?
And commercial.
And, yeah, yeah.
the state has a much broader definition of what a hobbyist is,
An automobile hobbyist or a hobbyist?
automobile hobbyist.
What does it say? I thought that.
Well, I mean, it's sort of tells more what it is. Remember we talked about limiting the cars, how many cars they can have, because the state doesn't really talk about that. But I don't know what. I mean, my neighbor has 4 vehicles too, he don't even drive.
Yeah, well, that's not a hobbyist.
No,
But
not really.
these, it
They're licensed,
specifically
so-
says they have to be drivable
licensed.
and fully operational.
So that means they must be
They
registered.
gotta be registered. To be drivable, you've gotta be registered, yeah.
Maybe that,
Well, they can have an antique plate on them too.
And an
Yeah, but
antique
that's
plate is
drivable.
not as severe as a regular plate.
Right, they don't have to have a sticker.
and an antique plate is a registration though too, isn't it?
Yeah,
Well, if they drive them on the road, they need it.
yeah,
Right, it'd be a
Yeah.
registration,
Yeah.
so I mean, maybe you should add yes, drivable. You know, maybe you should put registered in here.
okay.
Are we looking at the second one down,
Yeah,
automobile?
automobile hobbyist.
I mean, because they can be drivable, but not on the road. If they were
Okay,
sitting
all
in the
right, yeah, okay.
dooryard.
So automobile hobbyist is a person who acquires, repairs, restores to original or modified original condition a drivable, registered, fully operational vehicle?
That'll put a
Or
kibosh to
would you
some
put
things.
registered before drivable?
I think registered before drivable.
Okay.
Modified
Yes.
condition, registered and drivable.
Right.
Registered, drivable, and fully operational
Mhm.
for the purpose of personal enjoyment.
Yeah, okay.
Because they have different, like an antique auto is over 35 years old. Street rods is a vehicle older than 1949. 25 years old, antique motorcycles.
Yeah, they're not very old anymore.
And what?
They don't seem like they're very old anymore. You know, like a 1980 car is
Yeah,
antique.
yeah.
It's like, oh boy.
All right, is there a motion to accept the definition of automobile hobbyist if we add the word a registered, drivable, fully operational vehicle?
I'll make a motion.
Victoria made a motion, is there a second?
So I don't-
Darrell seconded. All in favor? Okay. So now, we can,
we didn't put
will you
any,
double check?
Do we want to go over what I discussed with you about the discrepancy in the zoning ordinance before we go over these minutes here?
Yeah, okay. Just let me ask one question. I don't think we,
what about, was anything in there on screening? We can use the screening laws on junkyards to make them screen, to screen them in? Because it does say in here that municipalities may require non-operational hobby vehicles to be screened from ordinary view.
Yeah. That should be in there.
where would it go?
No, I'm looking in the state, so,
Oh, the state regulation says that.
I mean, I got it on my phone.
Yeah. Do you think we should add it to the,
I don't know, just how much are we locked into being able to add to that without having it in there? I mean, we can put restrictions, right?
yeah,
So that could be
absolutely,
one of them.
absolutely, in the notice of decision.
So we could put,
Put it right here.
yeah, put it in there somewhere that, should you, or can we just,
Let me see, let me see.
we made junkyards be screened, so we can right, with the way you did that,
Mhm.
that would come under the junkyards too.
Mm.
I mean, that would come under that, so that probably is fine.
I sent this to you. This is one of the
Yeah, I have that.
towns.
Yeah, right, I have that right there, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I have that, yeah. Yeah. Do you want to, yeah, we don't have to,
I mean,
to vote on this
you
tonight.
describe everything as what a hobbyist is, let's say, autos,
No, we
horses,
didn't. We
class
didn't.
field, horses, carriage, reconstructed vehicles, street rods, to explain what.
Yeah, all right.
Did you see that?
Would you give a copy of that to Donna so that she can copy it, or would you email it? Do you have it on your computer?
That's a good
No, it's
idea.
not on it.
I
have to
can
scan
scan
it.
it, yeah,
Would you scan it and send it to everybody?
sure.
So we won't take a vote on this tonight. Craig is going to scan the Sabatis Code of Ordinances. They're much more extensive in what they say. And then sometime in the next couple of meetings, we'll decide what, if any. But at least read it and see if you think you want to.
It's just
put
got
anything
more
on it.
in it, that's all.
Joyce, didn't we
More
use Sabatis
clarification.
in the mass gathering?
That's right,
Um,
Yeah.
No,
It
that-
must be an up and
Or
coming town.
maybe, I can't remember, to be very honest with you.
It should
Richard.
be more.
I don't,
Sabatis
I
and
have that at
something
home, yeah.
Exact versus
Um,
vague.
Yeah, see, well, this really doesn't apply to us, because in here, they use subsections of their own ordinance to enforce what they're talking here.
Mm.
So, they're saying this, but they've used subsections, in other words, their ordinance says that, and that's what we were saying, we can use the junk car ordinance to enforce the automotive for our screening and stuff, so
Yeah.
that's pretty well covered.
So we all set with that then?
I think so.
Okay, well, just so everybody can review it, we don't have to vote on it tonight. I think it's
This is good, but it's
be more
using, see where it's
comfortable.
using
Make sure
their
Grace gets that,
subsections
too.
to enforce this.
Well, Title 29 is not an ordinance.
All right,
Well, it says, except for municipal ordinance may require areas used by automobile copy of screening requirements such as section 3754A. So they're referring to a state ordinance here? You could use that, or is that theirs?
That's a state ordinance.
Okay, so these are state ordinances they're saying they can use.
Mhm.
So they've allowed all that to be used if they want to. That's a good way to,
okay, yep. So we'll come up, we'll go over this and come up with that in the next couple of weeks or so. All right, let's do the minutes. I have, let me see, I'm trying to find, under preliminary plans for elder housing with construction of 20 condos, the second paragraph down. he explained that the condos will house single families, and the owners would own the building. Is that correct?
Just inside.
Needs to build, yeah.
And wall to
they'll own
wall
some
inside.
land around it.
Well, if, we need to clarify that. Did he say they would own the entire building, or would they just,
They would own the whole building.
They're not condos anyway, they're freaking individual.
their individual
I mean,
houses?
you can raise a
But
dog
they're
in the stall.
duplexes, aren't they?
No,
No.
they're individual
They are?
homes.
No.
You can raise a dog in the stall, but you can't call them a
I must
horse.
have some errors in this, I thought they were duplexes.
No.
Well,
I don't know where I got that idea.
Well, it does say, that your last sentence, the remaining land around the buildings will be held in common by the homeowners. Well, they don't even have a homeowners association bylaws yet.
But,
They don't have a lot of stuff.
No.
because when you were
that's in
speaking,
the last paragraph, George?
They don't even
No,
have
it's in that
design for
second
septic
paragraph, the
systems.
last sentence.
No.
The remaining land around the buildings.
I thought he said that when I transcribed.
Well, he does have it down as, well, he calls it Limington Estates subdivision. So.
He calls it
doesn't
a
say-
subdivision, yet he said tonight it wasn't a subdivision. So, I mean, it is a subdivision, that's why, I mean, it's amazing that, to me, I mean, I don't have a problem with it as long as it's done right, but it's amazing to me how, I mean, if it can, for instance, I mean, what if somebody else wants to do something like that? I mean, if you're doing I mean, I don't understand why they couldn't drill a well. I understand why, it would cost a lot of money.
It's another 10 grand per unit or more.
Yeah, or more,
Okay,
yeah.
well,
Well, if they're only
let's just
65
stick to
feet
the
deep, it ain't that
minutes.
much.
George,
No.
you want me to take that last
Would
sentence
be a
out?
cheaper way to
Remaining
do it if
land
they
around
could
the
get it.
buildings will be held in common?
No, he did say that.
At 65 feet.
So-
Well, that
And
means.
they'd be-
And 3 pieces of casing.
I know,
we're
but
talking
that's
for
what he
less
said,
than
so
5
we'll have
grand.
to clarify when they
Okay,
come in with
for some reason I thought they were duplexes, but
No.
maybe I didn't take it that way.
the last paragraph. Under the third line down, put a period after Route 25 and remove 4 plantings.
You don't
That's
like that,
redundant.
huh? Okay.
Well, no, you've got, said
No,
there
I'll
may,
take it out.
said there may be plantings along Route 25 for plantings.
Oh, I got it twice.
Yeah, that's what I mean,
Sorry
so
about
the 4 plantings comes out. Okay?
that. Yeah, got it out.
The second page, under housing 2 horses, the second paragraph, the property is under contract.
Oh my God, how did I do that?
And in the same paragraph, the second line up, it's manure, M-A-N-U-R-A. It's, you've got it more or something, yeah. Then under mass gatherings,
Yeah,
Chair Foley said the select board wanted to hear from the residents concerning a permit, if a permit would be required, not just for gatherings under 300 people, but gatherings held by town entities and SAD 6. That under 300 people was not what it was about. It was just whether or not what we just talked about, whether town entities in SAD 6 would have to,
okay, so you wanted to say, if a permit would be required for gatherings,
held by town entities in SAD 6.
and then do I leave 300 people?
No, no,
Take that out?
take that out, yeah. That's all I had. Anybody else?
Grandma
I just
questions?
have two left.
I'm
The
ready.
first page, preliminary plans for elder housing,
Yeah? what?
third paragraph down.
Mhm.
He showed where the 24-foot paved road would, I think you meant to say be located, not come located.
You know, I proofread this, I must have sent the wrong copy out.
Yeah, you're right there.
And then just
25
one
foot road
would be located. And then page 2, and this is the last one for me. it says the secretary will make the changes. Daryl Hubbard made a motion to accept the minutes of December 1st, comma, 2025. And January, you put 1M. I think that's just January 1st, comma, 2026. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Is there a motion to accept the minutes of March 2nd as amended?
Make a motion.
Carol moved. Yes, Pete seconded. Okay. All in favor? Okay, that's it. So, is there a motion? Huh?
We're gonna adjourn now?
Is there a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Victoria, we're adjourned.
Who seconded it?
I did.
Victoria did.